Intro. Hey Reddit, buckle up. Today's story is about betrayal, survival, and what it actually takes to disappear and heal when your whole world blows up overnight. My name's not really Marcus Doyle, but that's who I am now. For years ago, I was just a regular dad, planning the trip of a lifetime for my family. By the end, I'd vanished off the map, started a new life on the other side of the world, and learned what it means to let go. Here's how it happened. Chapter 1. The airport. Let's start at the airport. It's 8 a.m. LAX. I'm standing there, in my lucky linen shirt, first-class tickets in my pocket, ready to take my wife and kids on a luxury trip to Maui. Months of planning, tens of thousands spent. I wanted this vacation to fix us. We'd been fighting, but I thought paradise could save our marriage. My wife Mariah kissed me goodbye that morning quick, almost nervous, like she was checking a box. Wait for us at the airport, babe. We'll be there soon. She was getting a few last things for the kids. I didn't think twice, so I waited. Checked my phone, got coffee, watched families play cards, kids press faces to the windows. Time passed, texted Mariah. You close? Nothing. Called straight to voicemail. No response from my kids either. Hours went by. The departure board updated. The airport got crowded, then empty again. Every time the gate agent made an announcement, my heart jumped, but my family never walked through that door. 3 hours turned to 5, 5 to 10. Eventually, the sun set. The airport emptied out. I kept waiting. Chapter 2, 16 hours later. By 1 a.m. I was that guy slumped in the corner of the terminal, surrounded by empty coffee cups and for useless boarding passes. 16 hours I sat there, running every scenario through my head. Accident, emergency. But I knew. Deep down I knew. Out of desperation, I checked Instagram. I still wish I hadn't. First thing in my feed, a story from Mariah's sister. Best party in Hawaii. There was my wife, in a sundress, champagne in hand, wrapped around some tattooed guy I'd never seen before. She was kissing him. The camera panned, and no mistake. That was my wife, on the trip I paid for, living it up with another man. Something in me snapped. Not loud, not dramatic, just silent, cold clarity. I picked myself up, bought a one-way ticket to Tokyo, and walked out of that airport without telling a soul. I threw my phone in the trash before boarding. I became someone else. Chapter 3. Escape to Japan. Tokyo was nothing like home. I landed, with no plan, no language skills, and just enough savings to scrape by. I called myself Marcus Doyle, a name I chose because it sounded strong and forgettable. Those first few months were brutal. Cheap hostels, cheap food, working under the table wherever I could, washed dishes, carried boxes, taught English to businessmen who just wanted to practice their golf swing. Learning Japanese was survival. I practiced with phrasebooks and YouTube videos and got by with smiles and bowing a lot, but it worked. Tokyo is a city that can swallow you up if you want to disappear. I did. Eventually, I drifted to Kyoto, where I found work in a tiny dive bar. The owner, Tanaka, never asked questions. I bartended, poured drinks, listened to lonely customers. Every night, I swept up and walked home alone. No drama, no history. Chapter 4. Building a new life. 2 years later, I had enough to open my own tiny cafe. A dozen seats, mismatched chairs, quiet regulars, no Wi-Fi, no TVS, just good coffee, and a place to hide from the world. I lived upstairs in a tiny apartment with nothing but a futon and some books. It was peaceful, in a way I never thought possible. I didn't date, didn't make close friends, didn't tell anyone about my past. People respected privacy here. In 4 years, nobody asked where I'd come from, and I didn't offer. I became Marcus Doyle, cafe owner, the quiet American who never talked about his family. But some nights, especially around the holidays, I'd catch myself wondering about Ava and Julian, my kids. Were they okay? Did they miss me? Did they even know why I left? But I pushed those thoughts down. That man was gone. Chapter 5. The past returns. For years to the day after I left LAX. I turned on my old phone for the first time, mostly out of curiosity. It was buried in a drawer under receipts and dust. It lit up with 135 missed calls. All from Mariah. There were dozens of voicemails, hundreds of texts. Some were begging, some angry, some just lost. Before I could process what that meant, someone started banging on my cafe door downstairs. It was 7:30 a.m., raining outside. I peeked through the window, and my blood ran cold. Mariah, my ex-wife, the woman I hadn't seen in 4 years, was standing on my doorstep in the middle of Kyoto, soaked to the skin, crying. I let her stand in the rain for a minute. I wanted her to feel just a fraction of what I felt waiting at LAX. Eventually, I cracked the door, but blocked her from coming in. You found me, I said. She tried to explain, but I shut her down. You lost that, right when you left me waiting, she begged. Said everything had fallen apart, her affair crashed and burned. My parents disowned her, even the kids pulled away. I know I don't deserve it, but I'm drowning. I need your help. I let her in, just to get her off the street. Told her she had 20 minutes. Chapter 6. The truth. She started with the lie. Said she'd always planned to fly separately, that the Hawaii trip was a misunderstanding, but I'd seen the photos. I knew what she'd done. She tried to make excuses. It was just attention. I felt invisible. I didn't care. I told her straight. You chose him over us. You lied. You left me to rot. She broke down. I've lost everything, she sobbed. The house, my job, the kids barely speak to me. I know I destroyed everything good in my life. I can't fix it alone. For a second I felt that old urge to help. But then I remembered LAX. Remembered 16 hours of humiliation and heartbreak. No, I said. You need someone, but it's not me. Not anymore. I walked her to the door and closed it behind her. But I could still hear her crying through the wood. Chapter 7. Aftermath. She lingered in the neighborhood for days, like a ghost who didn't know she was dead, slipping notes under the door, waiting, on park benches, haunting my cafe windows. Eventually, she left an envelope. Inside, she finally told the truth. She'd ruined everything, she wrote. Ava had graduated valedictorian, heading to Stanford. Julian made varsity soccer as a sophomore. Both were growing up fast, learning to survive without me. She wasn't asking for forgiveness, just wanted me to know she finally understood. I'm sorry for the lies, for the cheating, for letting you think I abandoned you. You deserve better than what I gave you. That should have hurt, but honestly, after 4 years of healing, it didn't. I wrote 2 letters, one to each. Kid, no explanations. Just, I'm proud of you. Be strong. Mailed them to my old address and left it at that. Chapter 8. Real peace. The holidays came. Kyoto was cold, lanterns glowing along the river, snow falling on ancient temples. I stood on the bridge, watching families laugh. Tourists catch snowflakes. Kids running with no idea how lucky they were. For the first time in years, I didn't feel empty. I felt peace not from running, but from letting go. I'd survived betrayal, heartbreak, and the hardest kind of grief, losing your family, not to death, but to choices. And I'd come out the other side. Outro. So, to anyone listening who's had their world shattered by someone they loved, maybe it's not about getting closure, or revenge, or even an apology. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let go and build a life on your own terms. Sometimes the only way to win is to disappear, heal, and never look back. I'm Marcus Doyle now. I own a quiet cafe in Kyoto, and for the first time in forever, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Ending optional call to action. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. If you've got a story about starting over, I want to hear it. Drop a comment, hit subscribe, and remember, sometimes peace isn't something you find, it's something you choose.